learn for all your life. University, manifesting all your dreams. With Paradise, your land is home. Writing contracts on your own. Protect your loved ones every day. Knowledge goes a long, long way. University for me. University for me. Paradise, all your life. University, all your dreams. Land is home, on your own, every day.
Today for UNARepublic, University. Let's do it. So stay tuned. We got 55 seconds and we're rolling. 20 seconds and we are rolling. Yes, 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 yes. UNA. Yeah. Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, everybody. We're going to get started. Yes, 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 yes. Every day. UNA. Yeah. Welcome, everybody. Welcome and welcome. I'm yours truly, Diva Lyri. Thank you all for joining me today. Y'all know how we do it. We get ready to get strong and heavy in this game with respect to some history. All right, we're going through some history today. Once again, I'm yours truly, Diva Lyri, representing for UNA University and UNARepublic. As you can see, United Nations from America. All right, so we're going into it today. We're going to get into some history. I want to take this time to thank everyone who has supported us by liking and sharing, all of the people who have gotten our, look, these nuts, all right, who has supported us with our brand, these nuts, and dropping jewels. Thank you for the flowers, Champka. Hey, welcome. All right, so we got these nuts, and also those of you all who have gotten the book. All right, this is the UNA Beginner Law Book, if I could turn it straight here. All right, this is one of them. Let me get you a better copy of our UNA Beginner Law Book. All right, this is one of our better copies. And thank you all for your support of the UNA Beginner Law Book. So with this UNA Beginner Law Book, there is the vibratory frequency chart. Okay, there is the hierarchy of law chart. There is the universal laws chart. And there is this new chart that we have included, which is the civilization cycle down here, as well as the societal totem pole. These are very powerful tools, and they come with the book. They are separate inserts that we have that come with the book. And of course, the book has all of those in it, but it also includes information, which includes, let me say this, your maxims of law. all, 400 and something other maxims of law. This includes information about contract writing, why there are contracts, how to recognize a contract, because some of you all might not recognize that you're signing contracts when you are. All right. So all of that is included in the book. So this is our beginner law book. If you've gotten that, thank you so much for your support and your love. Also, real quick, those of you all who have gotten your membership trust, thank you for your membership. Thank you for joining. These are your trust documents that put you under trust. All right. It also comes with your membership badge and your allodial ID. All right. Your allodial ID, and on the back, there's a QR code that allows you to always have quick access to your documents that are on record. All right. So now I've gone through this and what these documents are before. You all can find our videos on TikTok and on YouTube about these trust packages and how important they are, what they are, and how to use these tools to help you in this walk. All right. So now, y'all like and share and like. My people on YouTube, share and like and love and tell somebody. If you are familiar with this platform, you know that we're ready to go deep. You know that we're ready to give you facts that you can hopefully look up. And I say hopefully because as I sit here and speak to you now, somebody is changing history. Somebody is rewriting history, and they're taking all of the information that I provide, not just me, but some of those of us who've done our research, they're taking it offline where you can no longer access it. So I say, hopefully, I don't want you to believe anything I say. We're supposed to be researching. We're at that point where we're beyond believing. All right. Everything that we're hearing and we're gaining information to, we have to vet it. Don't believe me. Don't believe anybody else. All right. So I hope you, when you get this information, you go and look this information up for yourself. Okay. So now let's get into it. What is our topic for today? Our topic for today is, does color really matter? Does color really matter? All right. So that's going to take me into the spiritual side of this game. And it's also going to take us into understanding the flesh side of this game. And I have to explain that and go into it now. This topic is coming from it's a response to some of the things that I have seen when people respond to the videos that we put up. Okay. So I need to go into some things because one of the people responded, it was, well, Jesus, he wasn't black and he wasn't white. He was just Jesus. And everybody got their own depiction of Jesus. And so we just supposed to love each other. Okay. So let's understand some things about why we have to recognize what really happened in history and who these characters were and what is the importance of it. Okay. So when this person was saying this, and everybody has melanin, and okay, hold on, let me find this because it was funny to me. Everybody, he says, has melanin, and so everybody is supposedly the same. This is not to say that. Let me find this so that I can make sure that we're on point with what I'm saying. And so you all can go back and look up my response to this particular character. One moment. So the whole notion was that we are, let me find the response. Okay, here we go. So I have the post, and you all can go and take a look at it. It's about Jesus, the Jesus character, and the topic is, who was Jesus? And then it says the historical lies. Okay. So now in this particular session, someone responded, and I'm not going to say their name because I don't need to give them press, but I'm going to read what was said. He says, I've seen the Ethiopian Bible, and they're all black. Jesus, Yeshua, and the disciple, all black. And Russia has released a painting of him as a black man. They have lied and mistreated our black brothers. Okay, that's one guy. Then another guy comes on and he says, I'm Ethiopian. The pictures you see are obviously black because each community draws biblical characters in their own likeness. You can see the same thing in India, China, and Japan. Jesus was a Middle Eastern man, this person goes on to say, like the current day Lebanon, Syria, and Jordan. With olive light brown skin, please don't be caught up on things that only divide us and have no place in today's church. Let us love one another as Jesus loves us. And that's that feel good. That's cool. That's that feel good thing. But I'm going to help you to understand the reason why this is not okay. All right. So all my light-skinned people, so-called Albions, white people, y'all pay attention because y'all not white, and pay attention to what's going on. My melanated people, please, if you're not hip to this right now, please stop calling yourself black, because it has nothing to do with skin color, that title, and neither does white. All right, but let me continue. So I come in and I say, the pictures you see, he says, are obviously because of each community drawing from their own biblical or community. All right, so I come in and I say, it is true that people create an image based on their own people, and they will look like the people in that area. However, we need to establish that the original being known as Jesus could only have been a brown person because of the people who he comes from. He came from a lineage of all melanated people. So this person comes back and says, hold on. He says, everyone has melanin. Because I said he had to be melanated. This guy says, well, everybody has melanin, just at different levels. Being Middle Eastern means he has more melanin than white Europeans, but there is no evidence of historical record that proves he is of African darker skin. Now, here's another being that is once again claiming that anything with melanin in it is African. All right. Now, he goes on to say, again, he is neither white nor black. Let's understand why there's an issue with that. Because again, the topic for today is, does color really matter? Pay attention to why. And again, I've said this in the past to my Albions, so-called white people. I love you. I got no issue with Albions, people from other countries, males, females. No issue. I have love. But at the same time, we're going to tell the facts because everybody has done dirt. All right. So I need to make sure that we're understanding what the facts are. And I'm going to help you to understand why skin color does matter. But at the same time, this doesn't mean that somebody who is of a different skin color is my enemy. That's not what that means. It means we got to tell the truth. And I'm going to help you understand why, Albion people, why melanated people, it makes a difference, and why you need to know the difference. Okay. So this person goes on to say, I want all my brothers and sisters to see that in search for truth, you don't end up creating division and further the race agenda that has plagued us for centuries. Yes, there is a race agenda. Let's be clear on that. But at the same time, you don't Thank you all for the love. 1-1 on 1. Thank you so much. And Crystal, thank you for the love. At the same time, what you can't do is ignore what has happened in history, because when you do that, you erase history. And what do they say? If you don't know your history, you're what? Doomed to repeat it. Diva Lyri not going to be. Diva Lyri won't be repeating anything up in here. I won't be repeating this mess. And I'm telling you what history is so that you don't repeat it. Okay, so let me get into this so we can understand what's been going on. All right, so I come in and I say, get out of here with that everyone has melanin. And I told him to look up the difference between phenomelanin, neuromelanin, allomelanin. There's a difference between the melanins. Thank you, Natasha. You have to understand that there is a difference. And I'm going to go into this. I go on to say, let me finish reading what I responded to this person. All right. So I go on to say, we have factual proof, because this person says Jews living in Judea and Samaria in the 1st century. He's talking about that's how they look. And I said, we have proof that these people were dark melanin. And I said, do you even know where the term Jew comes from? Because he's trying to say that the so-called Jews, he don't even know what the real Jews are. He's thinking that the people who call themselves Jews are Jews. And so I go on to say the Israelite tribe, which was a family of melanated people. This is why the Bible talks about Jews who say they're Jews, but are truly a synagogue of Satan, and they're not Jew at all. Well, the term Jew, for those of you who don't know, it comes from the term Jew of one of the Judea, which was one of the tribes of Israel. There were 12 tribes of Israel. All right. And one of them was Judea. And that term Jew comes from that tribe that had that term. And so now another group of people have taken on this term Jew, and they're using it as though that is who they are. And so people are assuming they are the true people of the Bible, the people who are known as the chosen people. They were melanated people. They were dark-skinned, melanated with neuromelanin, which is this person. Well, everybody's got melanin, neuromelanin. That's that dark melanin. I'm not talking about the other melanin that you're talking about. I'm talking about neuromelanin, where you can see it. There's ample. Okay, so we talk about this. I go on to say, he says there's ample archaeology and genetic evidence of what those people look like compared to today. But I take it that you don't believe those. I know that there's evidence, and I'm going to show some today of what those people look like back then versus what they look like today. We're going to show you how things have been whitewashed. All right, this person goes on to say, don't mean to aggravate you on this topic. So we'll hold on to your opinion. And I need y'all to be clear. What I speak are not opinions. I don't put my opinions out because they don't matter. Only thing I'm presenting to you is what my research shows and what the facts are that you can go and look up for yourself. My opinion does not matter at all. I don't even speak my opinion when I come on live because it doesn't matter. I just want you to know what the facts are so you can go and see them for yourself and find your own truth. So I say to him, I'm not aggravated, and I'm not giving my opinion. I only speak facts that I can back up. So perhaps it's you who's upset, and you're the one who doesn't want to know the full information. So now I need to get into this. All right, now that I've introduced you to this, and you all can find this once again, the session is called Who Was Jesus? The Historical Lies. And you can see this correspondence that I had with this character in the comments section. All right, so now that I've set that up, I need to go into some things concerning this topic. Does skin color really matter. Now, I need to make it clear. There is a difference between the flesh and the spirit. So I'm going to start right here. For those of y'all who have not caught my sessions before, pay attention, because somebody wants to make it out to be, oh, it's all the same thing. It's all together. It's all. No, it's not. No, it's not. So let's be clear. As spiritual entities, we don't die. And by the way, if you're watching this, I hope you take notes, or you're able to record or whatever, because now I'm starting to get blocked on both TikTok and YouTube. By the way, we're streaming on YouTube at UNARepublic. UNARepublic. Hello, Carla. Welcome. Thank you, Carla. Carla says the Russians are revealing what they look like. Thank you. So, again, I'm just letting you know that one of these sessions that I did where I'm talking about the spiritual side, it was actually blocked. So I'm letting you know, if you're seeing this today and you're able to record it or whatever, I encourage you to record it, because these things. I'm not even talking about government. They're trying to say that I am going against their community policies, when I'm just telling you things that the church should have taught you. That all these the Pope knows, but your preacher won't tell you what the truth is. All right. So now let me get into this. On the spiritual side, as spiritual entities, we don't die. All right. You are ethereal beings. And so your flesh, it transfers or transforms or transcends, but your spirit, it continues on and on. Always was, always will be. All right. Now, the flesh, it has its own pull, its own mind. And this is why it's important for you to be in tune with spirit, because if you're not, then flesh will take you over. There is a difference. You know, that little voice that be speaking to you and you can hardly hear it when you sit there, and they call it a conscience. Yeah, that spirit, very quiet voice, very soft voice. And if you don't know how to pull back and listen, then your flesh will take over. You won't ever hear spirit. And that's where a lot of us are. I've gone into this when I talk about being addicted. I talked about addictions in one of my sessions, whether you're being addicted to food, you're addicted to sex, you're addicted to negativity, you're addicted to alcohol or drugs. That's flesh. All of that is flesh. And if you're not able to overcome that, then you never tap into spirit. And so then, yeah, you think everything is just flesh. And we got to get back to spirit. Okay. So we're understanding there's a difference between spirit and flesh. Now, when I say color does matter, I'm going to help you understand why. When I see you or any person out here, your flesh, your skin, your hair, the way you walk, if you got both of your eyes are the same color or different colors, that's telling me who you were in another time. Everything about you tells a story about who you were, your ancestors, where you come from. I can see that when I look at you. You're a walking set of laws. You're a walking book. So when I look at your flesh, or I see your hair or your height, your color, the way you speak, it matters because it's telling me who you are from a physical standpoint. Okay? And then there's the spirit, how you are spiritually. It could be different than the way your ancestors were in the past. Why does all of that matter, Diva? Well, because I'm here today, and that don't have nothing to do with back then. But yes, it does. Yes, it does. Because again, I say to you, You are a spiritual entity, and everything that happened with your ancestors in the past plays a part in what happens to you in this dimension right here, right now. So pay attention, because I'm going to go deep. When I speak about what's going on with you right here, right now, it has to do with your ancestors and the things that they did in the past. So when we come in here as children, understand that you are an old spirit coming back into a new vessel. These beings that are showing up in this dimension, you're not innocent. You're not new. You're an old spirit that came back in a new vessel. And yeah, you forgot what you did as your ancestors. You are your ancestors. So again, what is a child? A child is an old spirit coming back in a new. Well, we all created sin. Nobody is innocent. All born of sin. But y'all want to feel like, no, that baby is an innocent. No, it's not. No, it's not. That baby is more powerful than the mother that brought it in here. And you all think just because it's a baby or it's a child or it's even an infant inside that it's not creating, but it is. We're constantly creating as gods, constantly. And so what has happened is, and I hope y'all are following me. I know this is for my mature people. If you're not mature enough to understand and be willing to hear and grow, this is the wrong room for you. I'm talking to my adults. I'm talking to my intelligent people. I'm talking to my people who want to grow up and know who they are. If that's not you, change the TV. Turn the channel. All right. So understanding that you had ancestors and you are your ancestors. You are an old spirit. And so now you need to start recognizing that there was baggage that y'all want to say, oh, it's our ancestors cursed us. No, you are your ancestors. Baggage that we put out. And now we have to clean up that spiritual baggage if you're trying to get to another level in this dimension. This is where we are right now. You've got to clean up the spiritual baggage if you're trying to get to another dimension. Now, some of y'all are not willing to see that because y'all are like, well, I didn't do it to them, Diva. It wasn't me. It was my ancestors. You are your ancestors. And you now have to clean up their spiritual baggage, which is really you. You put it out. So what am I talking about? When I speak about how you got your quote unquote Indian tribes that were in here, and they were a part of enslaving the Albion, so-called white people. Then you had another group of brown people in here called themselves Moors. They the ones who kidnapped them from places like Ireland and Sicily and brought them into the land and enslaved them, not only into the Americas, but Morocco as well. So what I'm saying to you is there's baggage that has to be cleaned up. I'm going to get into it deeper as I go into this. Now, so we're understanding that there is baggage that we've got to clean up. We've got to be willing to recognize that we are not new beings in this game. We have ancestors. We are old spiritual entities. Let's clean it up. Because as long as you're not willing to recognize it and acknowledge what you did, you can't go to the next level. Because if you're showing up in this dimension, if you're showing up here, you're showing up because you have a lesson to learn. You're not showing up here by happenstance. You're not people be talking about, well, I ain't asked to be here. Yes, you did. You contracted to get up in this dimension. You asked to be here. You put out a spiritual energy in another time and place. And so you end up here because there are things you have to learn and energies that you have to clean up. Thank you so much, Jet. If you're interested in the membership package, leave your name, number, and email in the inbox so that I can get to you. Thank you, Peep Gang. Thank you. All right. So now we're here because there are lessons that we have to learn. If you're in this dimension, it's because there's things you're supposed to clean up. And if you're not willing to recognize who you are as a spiritual entity, then you just gonna keep repeating because you're not willing to know your history. All right. Now I need to go further because with my Albions, you know, you all are the main ones that are quick to say, "Oh, it doesn't matter. Let's just love each other, and then when we love each other, and then everything will be great." That's not how it works. How many centuries we've been saying that? Centuries. Well, we've been wanting to, oh, we just love each other. It doesn't work like that because of the simple fact that there's baggage that needs to be cleaned up. And until that is done, you will continue to repeat. Melanated folks will continue to repeat. The Asians and everybody else, they're going to continue to repeat because nobody knows the truth about history. All right. Well, we're gonna clear up some things tonight. We're going to clear up some things. So we're understanding about spiritual baggage. All right. And I want to say something to my Albions, you light-skinned people, because some of you all are okay with the fact that, you know, oh, well, history was rewritten. So what? Who cares? Okay. Let me make this clear. When you are okay about an injustice done to one group, well, get ready, because that same injustice is about to be done to you. I'm going to say it again, because there are some things, again, that you are not aware of that I'm going to make you aware of tonight, and I'm going to upset some people. But you can go and look it up for yourself if it hasn't been hidden. If you are okay with injustice being done to one people, get ready, because that same injustice is going to be done to you. So, white people, quote unquote, white people, Albions, your history was rewritten. They don't want you to know that y'all was kidnapped and brought over here. Some of y'all have Bibles where it tells that you all used to be slaves or what have you. Okay? And do you know who did that to you and rewrote your history? Oh, that was melanated people. Some of it. Okay. So let's understand something. Melanated people's history has been rewritten. Women's history has been rewritten. And so let's understand that with my Albion people, your history is about to be rewritten, and you are about to be written out of history, just as the woman was written out of her place. Melanated people were written out of their place. So right now, just in case you don't know, my Albion people, this is not being told to you, but the Albion light-skinned race is at this point becoming extinct. All right. I've talked to you all about where the light skin comes from. They call this light skin recessive. All right. They call it Judah. Thank you, Nation of Judah. Who was that? Put that up. User. Thank you, user. So this is a situation where the carbon or the melanin in the blood was purposely targeted and grafted out of the genes. All right. So when you talk about light skin, it's called of the genes. Well, genetically modified, not natural. And so all things that are unnatural have a sentence or a time frame whereby at some point it's going to become extinct. That's not just only with the light skin. That's with the male as well. That's with the human vessel as well. But right now, I can tell you, the light skin is becoming extinct. At this time, especially in what we know of as North America, the death rate of the albion is higher than the birth rate of the albion. And once that happens, extinction is imminent. You can't change it. You can't turn it around. You can't do nothing to stop it, because that is what it is. And so you need to recognize that at some point, somebody's going to write you out of history and erase you totally. If you're okay with that, would it be okay with white Jesus then? Because I'm letting you know, the same thing that has happened to the woman and the melanated people is what's going to happen to you. You too will be written out of history. All right. So that's why you need to understand why skin color matters. If you okay with somebody rewriting history and writing you out, then fine. Stay okay with that. But Diva Lyri ain't okay with that. And we're ready to put the facts out, whether you like it or not. And that includes you too, melanated people. See, I get Moors that are upset with me because I won't claim more. Thank you, Anna. Malco, thank you so much. Thank you, David. Thank you all for the love. But they get upset with me because I won't take on the title Moor. Well, let's understand that there were a group of people who have come into this land and enslaved the original people of this land and run roughshod over them. So no, I'm not taking on that title. Even though I know we mix with some everything. We mix with the Albion, we mix with probably some African, maybe some original Indians, French, Spanish. We all these people are sleeping in here together. And so we're mixed with some of everything. But I align myself with the original people of this land. That's where I stand. Thank you, Tay. Tay says I'm new here. Well, welcome, Tay. All right. So now we've understood that, you want to understand why and what happened in history and what the skin colors are, because it's telling a story. This is not to say that we're going to be disrespectful to somebody because they Albion, or disrespectful to somebody because they dark-skinned, Hamitic African. That's not the case. You have to know what the history is. Otherwise, you will repeat it. We're not repeating this. If you're listening to me and you paying attention and you're applying this knowledge, we're not going to be repeating this. Well, all right, Pete. If you want to be Moorish American, what does Ish stand for? It means kind of, sort of, but not really. So if you want to be Moorish American, that's fine. And a lot of people ask me, well, what are you supposed to call ourselves? Diva, call yourself a child of God. If you can't say that you're a God, which is exactly what's on my declaration. I'm a God and of the original people of this land known as the Americas. That's me. But you want to be Moorish American, be Moorish American. That doesn't give you title to this land, because you just said you something else. I'm just making it clear. All right. So let's get into this thing. Why does skin color matter? Let me see if I can work my little backdrops here. Let's see if I can get this going. All right. I want to make it clear that somebody is purposely rewriting history, because when I get people who come to me and say, well, Jesus didn't look like you, and the people of this time didn't look like you. And it's like, well, we got proof of that. And tonight I'm going to show proof of everything that I'm saying. All right. So I want to go to the Incas. All right. I want to go to speak about the Incas of North America. These were a people of what we know of as North America. And who they were. This was a so-called Indian tribe. So I need to back up a little bit and let's make this clear about who we are or what happened in this land. All right. In this land, there were originally a group of people. They were brown skin, and we're ready to show this and show proof of this. All right. They were brown skin. And so I want to go back to the Incas, because what happened is in 1492, when Columbus got to the land surrounding the areas of the America, what ended up happening is he brought a whole bunch of eyes to the territory, and they wanted to have control and access and ownership of the land. So I need y'all to take notes and pay attention. If you don't have pen and paper, you should have it. Whenever you sit down with me, you have pen and paper, because I'm going to give you some information and I want you to go and look it up. So what happened is when these people started seeing the land, they wanted to have ownership of the territory. One of the first countries that started doing business in the land is the country that we know of as Britain. All right. And so they started doing business and setting up businesses in the land. One of the first businesses they had is called the Virginia Company. Virginia Company, look that up. That's the same company you know of today as the state of Virginia. So when the British came in, they made treaties with the original people. And I say they were kind enough to do that because now it's in writing. It's in writing that the original people were owners of the land. They never gave up title to their land. They were like, no, this is our land. We were here. They didn't say not one word about a sultan. They didn't mention nothing about no Morocco. They didn't. All of the original names are in these treaties, and I talk about these treaties all the time. All right. So now Britain is in here, and they've made treaties. This was their way of gaining control and access of the land. Then we had other countries that came in, your Spaniards and your French people. They came in and they started marrying into the families of these original people so that they can take over title and ownership of the land. They would marry into the families, and I'm going to show you some evidence of what these people look like when they came in here, because they want you to think these were Albions because somebody's rewriting history. Okay, we're going to see it in a few seconds. Give me 1 minute. Hang on with me. Make sure you're taking notes. There was another group of people whom I call elite Moors, who had an understanding of contract writing, of how to run governments. And they came in and they created a government that we know of today as counties. Counties count things. Somebody comes to the county, they're putting on record, this land is my land from this point to this point to this point to this point. All of this is my land. And then it goes on a record. Now, the people who set these counties up, I call them elite Moors. They weren't necessarily with Morocco. They weren't necessarily with Tunis, Algiers. They were just people who knew government. And they wanted to establish a government that would respect your God-given rights and had nothing to do with your religion. So they came in and they set up what we know as counties. They're the ones who established the Declaration of Independence. They're the ones who established the Constitution for the United States of America, the original Constitution. So these are the people who set that up. Now, so when these people set that government up, they weren't the original people of the land, even though the Constitution was written off of the Iroquois Confederacy, which is the original constitution of the people of the land. Your so-called Indians, they had the Iroquois Confederacy. But this group comes in and they set up another constitution, which is what we know of as the Constitution for the United States of America. And this thing came about in 1777. I need y'all to understand this was them taking over the land. They didn't ask. This group of Moors, they was like, nah, we just gonna write a constitution and this our stuff. Even though the treaties show that it was never belonging to them either. All right. So you got three group of people, three types of takeover. One is they wrote a treaty, that was Britain. Two is marrying into the families to take over the land, which is what the French and the Spaniards did. Three is just writing a constitution and saying that it has to do with the land and making it include the people. This is why the counties, when they created them, those counties have to be named after the original people. That's why you see counties like Chickasaw County or Creek County. They had to do with the original people of that land. That's when you have a charter for a county. It's got to deal with the people who are original. And so if you really want to know what the history of the land is, go to the county. It'll tell you a whole bunch. All right. So now we're understanding how people were trying to gain control of the land and who were the different people in the land trying to gain control. So now let's take a look at what those people look like. Let's take a look at what they look like. Now, I want to take, this is an image that some of you all will see, and I'm going to try to move out the way. This is an Inca, I guess a portrait, all right? And what this thing is showing is how these Inca people have actually so you can see the skin color of these different people. Hold on. Let me zoom in. All right, let me send this to my guy because my guy's gonna put them up. Give me a second. Okay, so now let me do a close-up of what these Incas look like so that you can see. Okay, here's one. Can y'all see that? Can y'all see this guy? Does by any means this guy look light-skinned to you? Okay, here's another picture of an Inca. Does this guy look light-skinned to you? I didn't draw this picture, but you can go and find them of the Incas. All right. This is a full image of the Incas. You can find this image online. And again, when I tell you that the original people of the land were brown with woolly hair like this. This right here. Okay. So we're understanding what the original people of this land look like. Now, I want to go back to the large image that I showed you and zoom in on some things because I need y'all to understand that it also had the Spaniards in here. All right. So and again, you can go and find these online. I'm going to show you this. This is a line of what the what the Incas look like. Was that the Inca or the French? Let me see. Let me make sure I got the right line up here. It's hard to see on here. Okay. Yeah, that was the French. So right here you have the Incas. And again, I'm going to zoom in so you can see them. All right. That's one. All right. Again, note the skin color of these people. Note the skin color of these people. Now you see the headdress of some of them right here. Okay, these were the original people. These were the Incas. But then there are some Spaniards in here. Let me see if I can find them because it's a little bit difficult for me to see. There are some Spaniards in here. No, those are original people. And you will see that it's here, let me get it. Carlos Quinto. Carlos Quinto. This was the king of Spain. The king of Spain is in here because the king of Spain actually married into one of the families of the original people. This is why you get the Pocahontas story. Because what really happened is these Spaniards came over and then they would marry into the family. Why? Because they wanted to have ownership of the land. Well, what's the big deal about that? Marrying into the family. Let's keep in mind, let's remember. See, this is the problem. We forgot law. The only people who have access to the land or quote unquote ownership of the land, which nobody can really own the land, but the people of the land are the only people who can have ownership. Well, if they come over and marry into the family, well, then now they can claim to be people of the land. Let me find, I think that's him right there. Carlos Quinto. He is Quinto meaning 5. He was of Spain also. He was the king of Spain. And the thing about it is, I want you to take a look at his skin color. Look at the skin color. Let me see if I can get my guy to put Carlos Quinto up here so that you can see it clearly. The brown guy. 1 second. I didn't paint this. But why am I bringing it to your attention? Because I need you to understand, yes, skin color does matter, because here's a situation where we clearly see these were brown people. He was brown, and then look at the Indian sitting next to him. He's brown. So I'll tell you why it matters, because somebody has rewritten this. Let's look. Let me show you the first one. Again, the original drawing of this whole portrait. Let me find it real quick. All right, here's the original. Jesus character. Jesus is brown. Image. This is the original one. They got Jesus. Hold on, let me make sure I'm on the right one. All right, in this one, this is the original. In this one, I can't see which is which. My cell phone is The screen is too small. Let me see. I'll tell you right now. Let me go back to my. All right. On this one, you'll see that the Jesus character is a darker skinned character. And I'm going to do a close up in a second on the two Jesus characters. And then you can see all of the people in the image are brown people, with the exception of the people down here at the bottom. These are French people, and they are more of a mulatto. Again, as I told you, they had started to amalgamate, meaning sleep with the Albions, so they became lighter skinned. But the ones up here, the original people, they were brown like me. The people coming over from Spain and France, they were brown like me. Okay. I'm going to show you a close-up of the Jesus character. Okay. And let me take this off so I can see. Okay. Can y'all see that? So, Jesus character. But then down here, you can't see this one. It's too low. Well, maybe you can. You see right here? See this light-skinned Jesus right here? Second portrait. The original portrait had this brown Jesus up here. And then they whitewashed Jesus. Not only did they whitewash Jesus, they whitewashed the Indians as well. What I'm saying to you is somebody is rewriting history. No, wait, hold on, because there's more. There's more. Let's take a look at Quintos. Carlos Quinto. Let's see if you can see this. All right, here's the original Carlos, the brown guy. And the one down here is a lighter skinned version of Carlos. Why? Here's the question. And I'm saying to you, skin color matters because somebody's rewriting history. And I'm saying to you, skin color matters because somebody's rewriting history. And because this screen is breaking up. If I'm breaking up, or can you all hear me okay? If you can hear me okay, please let me know. And I want y'all to like, share, and subscribe, please, and follow. If you're not subscribed on YouTube and you're watching, please go ahead and subscribe. We finally made it to 1,000. Now we're at 2,000. We're going for 2,500. We can make it. We can do it together. Let me see. Jesus had fled in the Egyptian territory and blend in. Thank you, Peep Gang. Can you all hear me okay? Okay, thank you. Somebody said I can hear you. Thank you, crazily. All right, so let's keep going. So now you're seeing here. Here's the original Carlos Quinto, who was once again the king of Spain and married into the families of the people of the land in the Americas. And then you got this one. Well, who is this? Why did they lighten this guy? What is the agenda here? remember I said to you who created the counties? When they created this county, because it was their job and their responsibility to preserve the records. And one of the laws that they put in there is if anybody changes the record, then they're supposed to go to federal prison. That's why, when you have a county clerk, they have a serious job, because there are people here who will try to change history and rewrite history. And I'm letting you know that's exactly what's happening. And so it's important for us to be concerned about what did happen in history, and yeah, the skin color, because somebody's trying to hide who's who. I know who you are by your skin color. I know who your family is. I understand what your cosmic baggage is. But if I hide that, then I've hidden the truth about what really happened. Okay, I need to go into another one. Here's another whitewashing done in history. So again, my goal is to show you who these people were in antiquity, so that you have an understanding about the lies that are being done, because we can show proof at every point about the fact that these people in antiquity were melanated. This guy from, where is he from? Morocco, and they called themselves Moors in Morocco. They light-skinned, mulatto-looking people. A lot of the melanin has been drained out of them, and then they think they're the original people of that land. And it's like, you weren't the original people over there. Those original people were dark-skinned. I just showed you what the Spaniards looked like. And then when you look at the French, they were mulatto, because they had started to integrate and become mate with Albions. Yeah, they started to become lighter skinned people. So let me go on to this. Here's this guy right here. Hold on, let me make sure of who I want to get. I want to go in on King James. I'm going in on King James right now. King James, this is the man who wrote the Bible, or has a version of the Bible. This is King James. Now, they would have you to believe that King James was an Albion. Who King James is. But nowadays, when you go and look up King James, this is what they show you. Wait a minute. These people don't look nothing alike. Hold on. So let me go back. This is the original picture of King James right here. But now on the internet, when you go and look up King James, you'd be hard pressed to find this King James. You're going to find this dude right here. So somebody tell me, this guy almost looks like a redhead guy. So I'm trying to make this clear to you. Somebody is rewriting history. Somebody is erasing the melanin. Skin color does matter, because this guy, King James, they says was African. And the fact that, let me see, they just try to hide the fact that this guy is a melanated guy. This is King James, who wrote a version of the Bible, that King James version. All right, let's go to this guy. Jean Mostart. Jean Mostart. Some of y'all have seen this image. Well, who is this guy? Some people in the past it said, oh, he could be royalty or what have you, but they're not sure. All right. So now, his name once again is John Mostart, and he was born in the city of Harlem, in the Low Country. That's Harlem in another overseas in 1475. It says he died in 1555. So 1475, that's before Columbus. All right. Now, he was born into a noble family, but we know little else about him. The Netherlands was his home. The Netherlands was home to a sophisticated group of artists who began experimenting in their own imaginative style of realism, separate from Italian artists of the Renaissance. Part of this group, much of Jean's work was destroyed in a fire in 1576. So let's remember that the way they rewrite history is by burning things, which is exactly what was done here. Who this guy is, he's of a rich family. We know he wasn't a slave. We know he wasn't poor. But we don't know much else because somebody burned all of his work. Well, who did that? Well, these would be the same people who are same type of people who deal with reconstruction of history and writing people out. All right. If I got any questions, any comments, any disagreements, I want to hear them before I get out of here. I want to say thank you all for joining and being willing to hear and listen and grow. Let me see if there's anything else I need to say on this topic. Oh, this is what I meant to show you. Okay, this is who John Mostart is. Now, you look up on the internet, John Mostart, and this is what you find. Who is this? Who is this? He doesn't look anything like the original John. That's the original John. But somebody redid John. And all of John's pictures now look like this guy. And this guy. Same image, different background. Who is rewriting John's history? And why? If you don't understand by now, with everything that I've shown and presented, and somebody has whitewashed history, you don't know, I just showed you how they whitewashed Jesus. All these, the whole Inca tribe thing, it's showing Jesus as a melanated Jesus. But now, when you go and look up Jesus, it's this blonde-haired, blue-eyed being. And why is that important that we get history right? Albions, if y'all think that's okay, just you waiting in line, I need you to know you stand in line because you next. You are next to be erased. If the people who are erasing history, y'all, I told y'all, it's not just Albions that's lying to you. So understand, y'all, and some of you all Albions, y'all think y'all own stuff. You don't own nothing. The people who run in this game, they don't care no more about you than they do about melanated people. They will step on you just as fast. So you better get this in your head. You better want to know history because your history is about to be erased too. Know that. So now, oh, let me see if I have any questions. Peep game. Peep Game says, dang, stealing identity is nasty work. Yes, it is. And we don't want to do that. All right. I need y'all to understand, especially melanated people, y'all are coming back into power. There is a shift. This happens every, I don't know, because it happened in the mid 1800s. We had a serious power shift in the mid 1800s. And that's exactly what's happening now. The same type of phenomenon went on, just like with the corona thing. And, you know, you had I saw two coronas. I happened to be under two coronas. One was at night, one was in the day, where there was a corona, and the pink skies and the purple skies, that kind of stuff. That same phenomenon happened back in the mid 1800s. That happened at that time. And I'm letting you know there's a major power shift. You are regaining your powers, but you better have knowledge or you will lose it again. You better know the history or you will lose it again. Thank you, user. User says, what goes around comes right back around. 100%. Thank you. 100%. That's how this works. So again, as you regain your knowledge of what happened in the past, make sure it doesn't happen in the future. Make sure we don't go erasing people's history or taking things away. Because whoever took the Albion's skin color away, because I told you, y'all so-called white people, y'all come from melanated people. Somebody didn't tell you that. Y'all think y'all all above or whatever. Y'all came from us. And so you better recognize that. Because at some point, if you're not aware of it, you're going to be erased too. Okay. So it's important to know this history. Let me see if I have any questions. Okay. Somebody asked, what's with the diamond? All right. United Nations from America. This is our eye. This is ours. What is it? What does it represent? It represents that we see now. And this is the pineal gland. This is representative of the pineal gland. The pineal. And the fact that we use it to see. This is why I tell you, I'm an oracle. I can see things. Because how do I see it? Because I understand the laws. And this is what we speak about in the UNA University. What is the pyramid? It's representative of the prism or prison. That's representative of these vessels because it's a prison. Your spirit is entrapped or enclosed in this vessel. You got to get back to spirit so that we can get to another level. We're not going to keep repeating this. All right. Roku says, thank you for sharing. Thank you, Roku, for being here. Thank you for the love. King James was a Freemason. Okay. Thank you, different. I want to ask you all to like and share, please. Thank you, user. No, the Albions didn't necessarily want, and it wasn't all the Albions either. By the way, let me say something real quick. I don't want you all to think, because we give certain people more credit than they should have. This is not all the Albion. Like, people want to say, oh, the white man did this with the religion, and the white man did this with the English language, and all that stuff comes from melanated people. Look up the Phoenicians. I've told you all that the Phoenicians were the ones who created the English language, and they taught it to the Albion purposely to discombobulate them. Y'all know how backwards English is, this English language is, and how it will all of these symbols. And let me rephrase that, because these letters are symbols, and the syllables have a vibratory frequency. And so when you're speaking them, they're vibrating with your inner you, all of your DNA. Well, somebody knew that. Those Phoenicians are the ones who created the language. So when we're talking about religion, all of your major religions, Buddhism, Christianity, Muslim, you can name it. Not talking about Scientology, but all of your major religions, they come from melanated people. So when we're talking about religion and the language and all of that, Albions didn't do that. Melanated folks did that. So please note that. Stop trying to give them credit for doing things that they didn't do. Come to speak of it also when we're talking about rewriting history. There's too much knowledge in knowing how to rewrite history for the Albion to have been solely responsible for doing that. There's another group of people in here that I told you they are hiding. They don't care if you get them mixed up with the Albion or you get them mixed up with the melanated people or the Africans. They don't care. They just have this knowledge, and when they want to rewrite history to manipulate it for themselves, that's what they're gonna do. And then they hide, and then they have the Albion slapping melanated people, and melanated people slapping the Albion. Meanwhile, we're not looking at the people who really doing this thing to us. How do I understand all of this? First thing I need help with in this case. All right, thank you, Devin Banks. So let's understand this. This stuff goes deep. Now I'm just giving this in this open session as much as I can. As I told you, we're starting to get blocked on both Facebook and YouTube. This thing might not be up tomorrow. All right, I'm just letting you know. But if you're really wanting to go deep into this and understand how to walk this is not just about being able to write some paperwork and some documents. No, this is about knowing who you are. So you got to know the history. You got to know what law is. You got to know universal law, and you got to know how to operate with honesty, integrity, respect, kindness, compassion, and love. You have to. Thank you, Pete Game. The Phoenicians were linguistic artists. Yes, and this is why they were kicked out of a lot of places. They were kicked out of Spain. They were kicked out of all kind of places. I mean, I had to go back and do my research, but there were so many places that these people were kicked out of because they knew how to trap people in contracts like mortgages. What is mortgage? A death pledge. They knew how to do that. And so they end up getting kicked out. And that's what's going to happen here. They're going to end up getting kicked out. And a lot of people are going to go down with them because they participated in it. All right. Let me finish answering. If you all have any questions, please ask them before I get ready to get out of here. Charles says who? Charles, what are you talking about? I need a complete sentence, and then I can answer your question. I want to thank you all for joining and liking and sharing. James 6th and 1st wrote the book of James for an invitation to finish the contracts. Right. Thank you on this because I wanted to remind everybody. The way they're painting these images now, they're writing, once again, the fact that the original people were melanated. They're writing them out. And let's be clear on this. All royalty was originally melanated. All royalty was originally melanated. And so what happened is you got these Albions, or wherever these light-skinned beings came from, who started to marry into royalty. And then they phased the blood out the same way they did with the original people of the land. Now, y'all know about that term. Thank you, Troy, for the love. The term called one-drop rule. Way to go. If you got one drop of black blood in you, you's a Negro. Okay. Let's understand where that came from and how it really works. because you all have taken it to be a negative thing, that if you have a drop of black blood or melanin blood in you, that it was used a lowly being. But that's not how it worked. Originally, it dealt with, as long as we got a drop of black blood in us, then we can continue to claim royalty. As long as we have a drop of black blood in us, we can continue to claim ownership of the land because we married into the family. Let me put this back up. Let me put this back up. And it's hard for me to see on this document. This is the original with the dark-skinned Indians. Then you got this one with the lighter-skinned Indians that we see of today. This is not the original people. These are not the original people. The originals were dark-skinned. Okay? So now, when a drop of black blood or Indian blood, then you could continue to claim ownership of the land. But once all that's gone and you can't show melanin anymore, well then you can't claim title. That's how that works. Are y'all understanding why it's important to know history and what truly happened? If you can't claim that you got a drop of melanin in you, then you can't be talking about you own the land. No, how is that when you are not even of the original people? But then some of us have even forgotten who the original people are. Some of us keep calling ourselves Black, African American, colored, Negro, descendant of the slave, Moorish. Keep taking on those titles. Then you can't say you are of those people who I just put up, the Incas. They just showed you what they look like. They look like me. I didn't draw those pictures. They were dark skinned with woolly hair. Those were the original people of the land. The people who married into the original people of the land, they look like me too. They were dark skinned. The Spaniards, the other Moors coming over here from Morocco, Tunis, Algiers, Tripoli, Montezuma, they were dark skinned too. As I told you, there's a whole bunch of melanated people in this land fighting and trying to gain control of the land and sleeping with the original people and stepping on them and pretending to befriend them and making contracts with them. But if you don't have black blood or Indian blood or melanin or carbon, or everybody's got melanin, you better get you some neuromelanin. If you can't claim the neuromelanin, then you can't claim access to this land because you don't have that drop of blood. Does everybody understand the royalty behind melanin? Because that's where all royalty comes from, melanated people. Darkness. And if you ain't got it, then you can't be claiming title to nothing. User says he was a Moor in Spain. Who was a Moor in Spain? Once again, if you all have any questions, Antonio, don't put your number on here. Put it in the inbox. You can go to the inbox and leave your name, number, phone, email, and we're going to send you a link so that you can be a part of our workshop. All right. If you all have any questions before I get out of here, go ahead and post it. I'm going to leave. When King James died, 27th of March, 1625. All right. So King James, again, he was in the 1600s. He lived then, and this is when that Bible, his version of the Bible came out. Now, remember, dealing with the Bible, remember I told you, a lot of people get upset because I tell them the truth about the Bible and the fact that it's been tampered with. If you want to see a less tampered with version of the Old Testament, take a look at the book of Jasher, Jasher, and you should get into reading the left out books of the Bible. That's a good place to start if you want to do research in history, find history on some things that happened in the past. Jennifer says we were everywhere. Now let's get on that because I want to make this clear. Melanated people were everywhere. Dark-skinned people were everywhere. But we were not all of the same people. And this is the problem with it, because then y'all want to say, oh, you being separatists, we all the same people, we all dark-skinned. No, and no. And I'm going to say this to you like you've heard it before. All skin folk ain't kinfolk. And once again, why is it important to understand and recognize that? It's not about being separatist. You got to understand who it is you're dealing with. You've got to recognize, again, when I see your vessel, when I see your skin color, when I see your hair, I see your cosmic baggage. It's telling me who you are and what you did in another time. I know y'all can't see it because y'all not recognizing the true laws out here, but Diva Lyri see it. And this is why it matters. This is not meaning that I'm going to be disrespectful or mean or hateful. I'm showing everybody love because everybody deserves it until they prove otherwise. But what I do see is what your lineage says. And so if I understand what your lineage is, then I can better deal with you. I'm going to give you an example. I'm giving you an example because I've given you all the cat and the dog thing. Okay. But let's say there's a snake, and this snake, I don't know if this is a poisonous snake or a non-poisonous snake, unless I can look at his colors and I can see, oh, that one's got this color. Or I can look at his shape and I can see, oh, that one is shaped like this. So this one is not poisonous, but that one over there is. Now, does that mean I'm going to chop the head off? I might. But does that mean we should chop the head off the poisonous snake? That's not the deal. We're just going to handle that snake differently because we're not trying to kill anybody or anything. All right? So we're going to handle that poisonous snake differently than we handle this non-poisonous snake. They got different ways of being. Now, both of them might bite the hell out you. But this one, if it bites, that poisonous one, it'll kill you. Whereas this other one, this non-poisonous, we're going to deal with it in a different way. I hope you follow what I'm saying. Now, how does that matter in this case? If I understand what your history is, then I know how to deal with you as a being better. Some of y'all are trying to do business with people and you don't truly understand who you're doing business with. So for example, I need y'all to understand these Albions, they come from melanated people, mainly your people who call themselves Israelites. Mainly the people who call themselves Israelites. So you got Hamitic people, and then you got melanated folk calling themselves Israelites, and then you want to be mean to the Albion when the Albion is your child. You closer to the Albion in relation than you are to the Hamitic African. If you do a genealogy search, you're going to find you closer to them than you are to the Hamitic African. But you want to go, we're going to be all us one. We all dark skinned. They all treat us like dirt. You need to understand something. This is why I go back to the Bible. were there Egyptians in the Bible? What was, somebody put it in the comment section, please. Were these people dark-skinned folks? Somebody, come on, I'm waiting. The Egyptians, were they melanated? Somebody tell me. And then when we're talking about the Israelites that they enslaved, were they not a melanated people? So then do we not have two groups of melanated people, one enslaving the other? Okay, well, if they was doing it back then, you don't recognize that it would be done today or in the recent past? Okay. Also in the Bible, it tells you, when we're talking about the Israelite tribe, it tells you who came and caused the downfall of those so-called Israelite people. Well, it tells you that all the people around them, all the other nations around them were going to come together and cause their downfall. Well, let me make this clear to you. There were some Hamitic people, they had nations, and there were some melanated people who had nations too that were not of the Israelite tribe. They was melanated. And then you had some other people who were Asiatic, but they had tribes too. This is not to say that you need to hate on them. You need to understand this is a spiritual war. Spiritual. And you need to recognize that even though somebody might have the skin color of a Hamitic African, you need to see what they are spiritually before you be trying to do business with them. This is being serious. Where are they spiritually before you start trying to do business with them? Because physically, this vessel is saying that they're fighting against you. That's what this say. Because those were a people who came against the Israelites. So the vessel is telling me, if I'm seeing a Hamitic African, I'm seeing, okay, well, your vessel say you was fighting against me. I want to know now where your spirit is. Again, when I talk about a poisonous snake, I'm looking at their colors. I want to see from your colors, oh, this one's poison. So I got to handle him differently. I'm not trying to kill him, but I'm going to handle him differently than I handle this one right here. Meanwhile, let me help y'all to understand something. You got a snake that doesn't look poisonous. Look just like you. Got your same color. And you can't even tell that it is against you. Because you think because it's brown, looks like you, it is of you. Well, let me make this clear. That one that looks just like you could be poisonous too. This is why you need to know who they are spiritually. On a spiritual level. All right. I got an issue with my little. Sorry about that. All right. So, spiritual. And to say we were everywhere, melanated people were all over this planet. But let's be clear. Just because everybody is dark doesn't mean they of the same you. I'm saying pay attention to what you're looking at on the outside and then be very concerned with what you're seeing on the inside. Spiritually, how are they showing up? What's coming out of their mouth? Who are they hanging out with? What are they listening to? How are they behaving? Are they acting with honor, integrity, and respect? And once you get somebody who's on the right level spiritually, well, then it doesn't matter about the skin color. Then we can do business because we're on the same level spiritually. That's what you're looking for. Where do we find the portraits? Look up the Incas, and also I want y'all to take this down, and I'm going to put this up on this site. It's called UNARepublic.com/docs, DOCS. UNARepublic.com/docs, DOCS. All right. Thank you all for liking and sharing. Please, if you haven't followed yet on TikTok, please follow. I want y'all to know I love you and I appreciate you. Peep the Game and all my people on YouTube. Ask me a question if you have any before I get out of here. And I'm just going through here to see what kind of comments and questions. Once again, if you're wanting to be a part of the UNA University, please send us a message. Send us an inbox. Leave your name, number, and email, and we're going to invite you to our workshop. Let's see. User says too much info. Morocco, Moorish marked. Okay. Not sure what you're getting at, but okay. User says brothers and sisters are waking up. Absolutely. Shadow work. Absolutely. That's what we have to do. Shadow work. Don't know where you're going if you don't know where you have been. And I'm opening my shirt, by the way, because my jacket is white and I can't see the letters. What are your thoughts on avoiding IRS? All right, H4. We use the IRS because the IRS has a duty to the people. And the problem is, once again, because we don't know law, we don't know how to use them to our advantage. So when you come into the university, we show you how to do that. Every penny you put out, dollar for dollar, is supposed to be coming back to you. Every penny, times 2. We do it times 2. It's probably, you can do it more than that, but definitely times 2. You're supposed to be getting interest off of any funds that you have paid anybody who has a corporation or incorporated or LLC or whatever it is that they have done with the United States corporation. You're supposed to be getting that back dollar for dollar. All right. I want y'all to like and share. I know I got 4 or 5 people on YouTube. Y'all have not liked and shared. Come on now. Y'all be ashamed of yourself. Thank you. Genesis says, thank you for this. Love you. I love you too. I love y'all too. Thank you so much, Genesis. Yeah, so IRS. So what happens is, once you know what the truth is, then you're able to get all of your funds back dollar for dollar. All right. And that's what we teach our students how to do in the UNA University. So if you're wanting to join, by the way, let me say, because I'm ready to get into the UNA University before I get out of here and what we do. Thank you all for liking and sharing and hanging out with me today on this. But for us, there are certain things that we do for our students that we do not do for people who are outside of the UNA University. One of those includes taxes. And when we say taxes, we're saying you get your funds back. Like they're owing you 60, 70, 80,000. Now, I don't say this because I want you all to join because of the money. If that's your motivation, then you're not here for the right reason. Even though my students get their funds back many times over, they do. But I need you to be in it because you truly want to learn. All right. So it's not, when our students are doing taxes, it's 50, 60, 70, $80,000 back. And it's really supposed to be more than that. But we talk about, you know, how high we can go with respect to what we do for you. So taxes, mortgages. So people who have issues with their mortgage and they've got people trying to foreclose on them and things like that, you have to be a student. Car tags. There's a whole list of products and services that we offer our students that you have to be a part of the university. Because if you're not, then you don't have the knowledge. You won't have the knowledge to be able to stand. You got to be able to stand. Okay. So my thoughts on the IRS or avoiding the IRS, don't avoid them. Y'all remember, you remember Neo. You remember Neo and how when he gained knowledge and they start shooting those bullets at him, he was like, He just said stop. And those bullets paused. Well, this is what happens when you gain knowledge. You don't have to run from the agents anymore. You don't run from the IRS and the FBI and the CIA because you see the bullets. The bullets are representative of lies. Lies. But when you know the truth, you can stop the lie in its track. Just like in that movie. So what I'm saying to you is, you don't have to run from these agents. Don't avoid them. As a matter of fact, they're going to start avoiding you. They're going to say, please don't file no more, please. They're going to avoid you. Don't avoid them. You face them. You stand. And you tell them to do their job. And that's exactly what they have to do. Who has any questions? Thank you, Willie. Rose says, son, don't faze me. Okay. Thank you for the love different. User says, right, they wanted ownership of the land. That's exactly what they wanted. That's why they married in. All right. Miss Chanel said, shared the live. Thank you, Miss Chanel, for sharing the live. Let's see. Profile says, I'm suing two I'm suing two whiteys who poisoned my coffee. YT's detectives won't investigate what? Okay. The free man says, that's right. User Mississippians. I don't understand profile when you say is YT detectives won't investigate. What? Okay, I guess you're saying they want to investigate the fact that you were poisoned. Understand. Mystic says we are autonomous. All right, if that's the word you want to use, that's fine. Just make sure you research it. All right, let's see who else has any questions. Roll, welcome. Jay says, I understand. Thank you, Jay. Roll says, I am hybrid. All right, you got that blood in you though. The free man says, old type. Lee says, thank you for the education. Lee, thank you for joining. I hope you liked and shared and followed. Profile says, purchase auto renewal subscription. Okay. Profile, thank you for subscribing. My people do some new stuff. I didn't even know we had a subscription, but okay, we got a subscription. 1647, he was Robin Hood pirate. Okay, who? Chris says, yeah, they were. They were everywhere. Okay. User says, we're not Africans. I'm not African, but okay. Leah says, tribes. Yuri says, a true high priestess. Okay. Gold. Let me see. I'm just checking to see if I have any questions here. They were darker. Great job. Okay, let me see. Who else? Okay, so I'm going to get into UNA University and what it is in a second. That where test the spirits by spirit came from. Law governs all events. Yes, true law. Unfortunately, some of us are not aware of what true law is. Hakeem says, give that site again. So the name of the site is UNARepublic.com. UNARepublic.com/docs. D as in David, O as in Oscar, C as in Charlie, S as in Sam. UNARepublic.com/docs. Thank you for the love, Sacred. I'm getting through to the questions. I'm paying back taxes now. Well, Tay, if you like paying, enjoy yourself. But if you want to deal with that and find the truth, because we understand who these people are. They don't even have authority nor jurisdiction in here. And why is it that they end up putting people in prison? Well, because you don't know law. And a lawyer cannot tell you this. They can't. Even if they wanted to, they be disbarred. I mean, it's, when I look at this trial that's going on where this judge has misbehaved so badly, and you got the lawyers, they are afraid to say something. All hell would have broke loose in that courtroom. And it's good that they kept their composure. That's good. That's great. First of all, I wouldn't be in there. But there's no way that he'd be talking about, oh, I'm going to hold you in contempt and you go to prison when you clearly did something wrong. Yeah. See, a lawyer, they don't know true law. They only know what's been taught to them. But the truth is that judge should have been arrested right then and there on that stand. He should have been arrested. And who's responsible for not arresting him? That's the sheriff, who's a part of the game because he was in that meeting. So you got to understand the role that these people are supposed to be playing. And if that lawyer knew anything, who is he supposed to be calling on? Now we need to get, who's supposed to, some marshals, some U.S. marshals are supposed to be involved. U.S. military is supposed to be involved now. But they don't know law. They only know what was taught to them in that school. All right. Where can I get more information about UNA? I just found you here. All right. Thank you, Blunts. I want you to leave your name, number, and email in the inbox, and let's get you to one of our workshops. Willie, good night. Okay, thank you for sending your information that free, man. How can we become students? You're going to leave your name, number, and email in the inbox. And my people on YouTube, I would appreciate it if you would like the session. If you appreciate any smidgen of what I've said, like it, please. Empress says, hey, goddess. Hello, Empress. It's still love. Thank you for the love. Okay, so let me get into this. UNA University. Let's go into it now. All right, good. Wait a minute. welcome, and welcome. I'm yours truly, Diva Lyri. I am representing UNA University, and what are we talking about right now? We're going into summer season 2024. Summer season 2024. Now, let's deal with the sessions that we have for you this season. Now, you all know we've got Back to Basics. And what Back to Basics deals with is your trust, that all trusted trust. And it has your documentation, your trust documents that come with it, your membership badge, and your allodial ID. So let's understand these different products and services that we offer here in UNA. All right. So the first one we're dealing with is your trust. All right. And that deals with a Back to Basics program. So what is this Back to Basics program? Once again, what it does is to help you understand what the trust is. So as I always tell you guys, it's not just about paperwork. You must know what these documents are and how to use them. So that's the purpose of Back to Basics. So in Back to Basics, you're going to learn how to set up your trust documents, everything that goes with it. You're going to also get the opportunity to get the membership package that has all your trust documents. It comes with your membership badge as well as your allodial ID. All right. And on the back of here, there's a QR code where you will always have access to your certified document. Also, with the membership package, UNA is going to put your documents on record for you. All right. Now, once you have your certified documents, from there, you have the opportunity to send your documents to all other organizations or agencies to put them on notice of your status. All right. But our job is to make sure we help you establish your trust. All right. As well as to make sure that they get on record and to make sure you have the knowledge of how to use them. And also we provide you with other tools so that when you're walking and you're dealing with these different agents out here, you have the authority and the ability to stand. Okay, so that's the membership package that we offer. The price on this for today is $625. All right. So please note that it will not stay at that price for very long. I'm not rushing you. Take your time. You got all the time in the world. You can do it in your next lifetime if you want to. That's fine. But for today, it's $625, and it comes with, once again, your trust documents. It comes with your membership badge, your allodial ID, the education, and we're going to put it on record for you. All right. So now you got that price. Now let's get into the classes or the UNA University. Why is the UNA University so important? Well, with the membership badge or the membership trust package, what you're going to get is that Back to Basics, and that's great. That's going to tell you what those documents are. It's another thing to know how to stand. All right. And this is why you need to come into the university, because again, it's not just about paperwork. You've got to know what happens when the agents come at you. Again, a lot of people are in this because, oh, I just need some money, Diva. Well, okay. Do you know how to keep the money when you get it? Do you know how to deal with any agents who might come at you saying that you are not deserving of the money once you get it? Do you know how to stand? So when you're in the university, we teach you these things, how to stand, what happens when these agents come at you. Who are the agents? Who are you? What is your standing in this whole game? Do you understand the difference between in the hierarchy of laws? There is a hierarchy. Some are higher than others. Some don't even really exist as laws, but you acknowledge them as laws, and so you put yourself under them. Well, how to come off from under them? You got to know all of these things, all right? So in the UNA University, what will you learn? All right, we go over the esoteric knowledge. That's the most important for us. We stand on the universal laws. because of the simple fact that they are the basis for this entire dimension. And then you've got to understand them if you're really talking about dealing on a higher level in this dimension. All right, how to use the hierarchy of laws and the universal laws. Knowledge of self. You've heard people say this all the time. Do you really know who you are? If you don't, it's going to be very difficult for you to continue to climb in this dimension. His story and her story. What's been left out? How have we been lied to? How have things been changed, and how things are constantly changing, and how we learn to research? All right. What is a trust? You're going to learn how to stand on the tools, overcoming your fear, overcoming your anger, overcoming the people who are around you. See, that's one of the big problems, because a lot of people around us are telling us, even our own people are coming with this narrative of, oh, well, you know how they treat us Black people around the world, when that's not even true. They haven't even left their own state, much less the country. They have no clue about how other people treat you. But I'm gonna tell you, as a person who's traveled on my own, I get love everywhere I go. And those of us melanated people who travel and we have knowledge of self, we get shown love everywhere. It's not everybody who's treating us with disrespect and disdain. Don't believe that. So you've got to overcome the people around you. What is government? Some of y'all have this idea that, oh, you think the cops are government, when they're not. They're not government. They're private entities. So then once you get to that, then you start learning how to be a government, how to write a lawsuit and totally effect a lawsuit against these people, how to stand in court, how to create your own court, how to clean up your credit, and understanding why your credit is important. Because some people would say credit is not important, but see, let's understand this. Everything, when we're talking about a credit report, a traffic report, a criminal report, all of those different reports are telling of who you are on a spiritual level. Oh no, Diva, no, let's understand what happens. When I'm looking at a credit report and the credit report is at a 500 or a 600, what is that telling me? Because I already know when I look on that credit report, what it's saying is that you didn't honor your word. But they was fraudulent, Diva. Yes, they were fraudulent. But your word, you wrote it on this piece of paper and you said, I will pay you back this much money. And then you didn't do it. That's indicative of who you are spiritually. So once again, we talk about when you clean up your mind and your spirit, when you get all this on the inside of you cleaned up, all of these other reports start to reflect who you are as a spiritual entity. On your credit report, it's going to show up like a 700. Why? Because when you say you're going to pay somebody something, that's exactly what you do. And then you don't enter into contracts just because, oh, I want this all with all my heart. Well, you don't enter into a contract with that kind of energy because you're going to get burned. So all of this is important. Learning this is what we go through in the university, knowledge of self. See, we've got to become accountable. So if you got a credit report, a criminal report, a driving record, all of these things show up and they are indicative of who you are spiritually. All right. Contract writing. We get into contract writing, credit cleaning, credit building, nation building, business credit, shelter. We help you with your shelter trust corporations, operating on the public side, tax preparation, financial instruments, how to write those and write them on the private side, how to bank. See, we've been out here banking and signing our names all over everything, and we don't even recognize we're banking. And how to do business directly with the federal government. So those are the things that you learn when you come into UNA. And this is why we invite you to become a part of UNA. And if you want to do that, what you do is leave your name number, and email in the inbox, or you find us at UNARepublic.com. Or actually, also you can find us at UNARepublic at amaxpro.com. UNARepublic at amaxpro.com. All right, so now let's go into our sessions that we have for this summer season coming up. All right, so summer season, we told you, some of you all will be doing back to basics. If you don't already have your trust, when you come in, you're going to need to do back to basics. Out of the sea, if you will. All right, so now that class is called Back to Basics. Now, the other class that we have, that where we meet on Mondays, and this is where we get to meet and you're able to interact, you're able to ask questions. One of our mentorship programs, or part of the mentorship program, where we're walking you through step by step, you're able to ask, and where we're walking you through step by step, you're able to add. Is our more physical side, where we're doing the paperwork and we're getting into the heavy work. Okay, so our Monday class for this summer season 2024 is universal law application. Universal law application. And in this session, we're learning how to apply universal laws to create the dimension that we vision. All right, the applications include recognizing our reflections, clearing cosmic baggage, recognizing energies around us, manifesting more. How do we manifest? Because some people come into the session and they nervous about, oh, I won't have enough money. Well, when you're manifesting, you don't worry about money. Federal Reserve knows all of that comes from the universe. Man can't create nothing that don't come from the universe. You learning how to manifest everything you need. All right, this class is considered one of the fun parts, but it's also one of the most difficult parts because it deals with being accountable. A lot of us we're not ready to grow up. But for those of us who are ready to grow up and be accountable, this is going to be one of the most difficult parts, because we have to look at self and be willing to ask for forgiveness. Universal law application. That's going to be our Monday class. It starts July 15th, through September the 2nd, 2024. That's going to be 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern. And that's going to be a fun class. But like I said, it's going to be very difficult as well because of the work we have to do on self. All right. Our Wednesday class is called I'll Be the Judge. I'll be the judge. What is this dealing with? All right. We learn how to create courts of law in the private and as a county domain. We learn the hierarchy of jurisdiction and how to sue a party successfully on contracts truly are, how to write them. So this is going to have a contract writing component in it, how to prepare an administrative process. If you've ever heard of that, we're going to walk you step by step through the whole administrative process and show you how to get remedy from beginning to end. We show you how to open up a federal court. We show you how to open up a county court. And then we show you how to be the judge of your own court. This is one of our beginner/intermediate sessions. And we're also going to have some advanced information in here. This is a powerful, all of our classes are powerful, but this one right here is going to be coupled with a lot of powerful information. Starts July 17th. through September 4th, 2024, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Once again, really, the university starts on July 15th. And so that's going to be in a couple of weeks. You got about 10 days. All right. So get it together. Let's go into what it takes to be a part and a member and a standing member of UNA. First of all, you got to show up to class and participate. Second of all, you got to pass the test and turn in your assignments. Third, you got to make your payments on time. And we're going to get into what the payments are. All right. So, so that we are clear, UNA University is valued at $5,000 per season. That's the value, $5,000 per season. I want to make sure I get this information to you. And see if I can find it for you. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm waiting for the people who can drop off who not ready. $5,000. That's the season price. Now, when I say that price, once again, I want to make this clear. That is cheap compared to these other so-called law schools around the country. Cheap, because you can't even get into these law schools unless it's starting at $20,000. Starts at $20,000. And they're not going to teach you nowhere near what you're going to learn here. As a matter of fact, they can't teach you because who's teaching you? The system. Why would the system ever teach you how to free yourself? That's not how that works. You cannot expect an oppressor to help you uplift yourself. Okay. So when you're coming into UNA, you're going to learn things that lawyers and judges don't know. You're going to learn things that accountants don't know. So you're going to really be getting deep into this knowledge. And again, those who are students in the UNA University, you're getting to the point where you will be running your own government. You have to be self-governed. Okay. So let's understand what it is to be a part of the UNA University. What is the price? All right. So it's valued at $5,000. However, out of your pocket, what do you pay? We have a financing program where you're paying $444 per month. $444 per month. All right. And when you're coming into the university, we request that you be with us for at least 2 seasons, which equals 6 months. So let me make sure we're understanding what a season is. All right. A season for UNA University, spring, summer, fall, winter. All right. 3 months per season. We're in our summer season, which is July, August, September. So when you come in, you have to be in for at least 2 seasons, which is 6 months. And you will be paying $444 per month under the financing program. You would sign over a promissory note for the $10,000, which comes from your estate. It does not come from you. All right. Are we understanding that? Doesn't come from you, it comes from the estate. Now, so once you're ready to go ahead and enroll, you would just sign up. If you're interested in signing up, we want you to click the link below. All right. You're going to click the link, and then that's going to take you into enrollment where you can now be clear. We do not have the opportunity and the time to be able to meet with everybody individually as we were. At this time, if once you have signed up and enrolled, you will get a session with myself or one of our other instructors. All right. So once you've enrolled, whether it be with the membership program or whether you have the opportunity to meet with myself or one of our other instructors. All right. So that we can get you set up and make sure everything is ready for you and you can come into the university. So once again, the UNA University starts on the 15th of July and it goes for 3 seasons or really 8 weeks. All right. So not 3 seasons. It goes for 3 months, which really is 8 weeks. It goes for 8 weeks. All right. So we have an 8-week session. So now, if you're interested, once again, you're going to click the link below. And when you click the link below, it's going to take you to where you can enroll and pay. And you will be set up with a consultation with myself or one of our instructors. All right. So we get ready to go into class. Summer season is about to begin 15th of July. I want y'all to know I love you. Let's get this thing going and we will see you in class. Diva Lyri, I'm out. Bye-bye.